I wasn't good at necessarily the greatest in the office at selling the phone. What I was great at is being above average to good at the sales aspect, being fantastic and great at the training, being able to duplicate, being able to take an individual that has never sold something before and show them our system, not my system, but our system. The law of averages, the impulse curve, working extremely hard, speaking to every member that comes in, taking little breaks, not watching the clock. You're thinking more like an entrepreneur. And then I noticed that the ability to replace yourself, you can generate way more revenue and do less work. So as a corporate trainer account manager, you want to find 2 to 3 like-minded individuals like you that you've interviewed, that you've trained from the ground up, and helped and assisted get promoted to corporate trainer. When you do that, when you have 3, 4, 5 leaders on your crew, whatever your promoting owner says is necessary in that local office, which is usually around 3, and you can do 20 DirecTV installs 2 weeks in a row. And then obviously if you're in an energy office, there's production that has to be done there. If you have footprint, the broadband, there's qualifications for that. And then obviously if you're in a mobility office, there's qualifications for that. You want to break down what it is. It's usually going to be anywhere from about $8,000 to $12,000 in revenue brought in. When you do that, we don't care who you came from. Meaning we don't care race, we don't care size, we don't care gender, we don't care neighborhood, we don't care daddy, we don't care bank account. You get promoted. That's it. And when you become an assistant director, that's where we're going to cross-train you on the back-end side of our business. We're going to cross-train you on, how to conduct first round, how to conduct third round. We teach you the banking. We teach you the payroll. We teach you the clientele, the portfolio. We introduce you to your accountant if that's what if you want to use the one that we can provide. We introduce you to, you have a legal team that can help in certain instances. We introduce you to your bookkeeper, which we call a hub, that's going to help you keep books. We open the books completely transparently to you on these are the ins and outs of running this company. Again, that's what we're looking for. And then from there, usually takes about 5-6 months to get in that position. Sometimes it takes 8 or 9. We don't really care how long it takes. It shouldn't take a year. It should be inside of a year, right? But we don't care about the learning curve. We just care that you get there because that's what we need. As an assistant director, most assistant directors make $1,000 on a bad week. They make about $1,500 to $2,000 on a good week. So they can go anywhere from making, $40,000 in the field to then moving into assistant director where they're in the field, but they get a pay increase, they can get override structures, they can be in a better position where they're going to make anywhere from, $50,000 would be a bad year for them. But again, you're not working annually. This is a matter of months. You'll spend probably 4 to 8 weeks as an assistant director. And that's where you're going to get $1,500, $1,800, $2,200 paychecks on a weekly basis. And in that time, what we're doing is we're going to find out, portfolio-wise, what clientele you represent. You're going to be an energy, mobility, DirecTV owner. You're going to go to the Costco program where the foot traffic is 27,000 people for every warehouse. Are you going to be in footprint? Is it best for you to represent Vivint, whole home control, et cetera? And then once we sign off on that, we make sure we have the territory. Are you in 2 stores, 3 stores, 4 stores, 5 stores? Are you going to become an A market, B market, et cetera? Once we figure all that out, then that's when we promote you into management. And we pay for all of it, every bit of it. It doesn't cost a dime for you. You get a paycheck every single Friday, but if you basically take a Shark Tank, if your promoting owner is not a shark, but in this analogy, or in this comparison, they're somewhat of a shark. They're judging you on their character if they're going to invest in you, not your company, invest in you as a person. They're going to spend 5, 8, 10 grand to open you up for you to have an opportunity where the average director of operator, the rookie owner, on average, makes 85 to 125 grand. That's not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed in life, and I don't think anything is guaranteed in this business. But you now have the keys to your own building. You have the opportunity. I'm going to say something. I may screw up some people. Some owners may call me later and go, man, my new person's upset. You're very important to us no matter who you are in this business, and we appreciate all your hard work. But the reality is, again, becoming an entry-level representative to have an opportunity to grow, that's not our challenge. We can find that with our eyes closed. We're expert recruiters. We have the best clients on the planet. We have contracts with retailers that are bigger than any other retailer out there. We turn retailers down on a day-to-day basis. We told Target we just can't do it right now. Who would say no to Target? Most companies would love to have their product on the shelf of Target. We said not right now, maybe later. We just took over the largest complex department in all of Sam's Club, $350 billion industry. We work with companies like Apple and Samsung. Right? You can write whatever you want on the internet. It's just what the facts are the facts. What we need is people that we can cross-train in all aspects of this business to go become an owner. That's where you get your stripes. Somewhere along the way, that got jaded. People thought, well, all right, I'm a rookie now. As a rep, yeah, I guess you're a rookie within that local office. But when you compare it across the country, when you become that owner, when you become the director of operator, now again, some of you guys, you just want to sell stuff, all good. I'm speaking to that 10, 20, 30, 50% of this call and say, I didn't come into this company to sit in the same place and sell something for somebody else. I came into this company to run my own deal, to be a leader of other people. When you're a director of operation, you make your own schedule. You should be in the field. You can generate an extra 50 to 100 grand for yourself personally. Some owners like to play big shot, sit in their leather chair. Some owners, they have that sweat equity. They got their hands on the business. They're in the field with their guys and gals. Now, some are in a different position where the revenue stream's so high they don't need to be, right? But from there, to be honest with you, in my opinion, that's where the business got exciting for me. That's where it really starts. We promote from within without seniority for 1,000 reasons, guys. It's what keeps everything pure to us. As an owner, again, we'll say that the average owner makes 100 grand. Again, not guaranteed. From there, to make it make sense how an owner makes money, it's about the simplest model on the planet. I'm sure in the office that you're in, for on this call, probably doesn't have a ton of computers everywhere. It's probably not the most high-rise building in downtown, because that's not us. We're more of a blue-collar company with an extremely high white-collar income, meaning it's work to get there. But everybody has that opportunity, but the reality is, glamorous company when it's not there, glamorous office when it's not necessary. So in the office you're in, it may not be the most beautiful, high-rise, badass downtown office, because what our model's based off of is low expenses, high margin, right? So if you think about the expenses in the office, maybe there's an administrator. Some offices don't even have an administrator. They use an outsourced recruiter that we help them get set up as a newer owner. They don't even have to train them. We just supply it. So all the hardship of a startup company, what we did is we took all the hardship out. Paying the bills, meaning like cutting all the paychecks, doing your books, we have outsourced, the accounting piece, right, the legal piece, all of that we outsource. We want the owner focused, kind of like a restaurant owner. If the restaurant owner has to focus on their books and everything else, they're screwed. We know the majority of people that came into this didn't major in financial accounting. So we want them focused on their guys and gals and atmosphere. We want to focus on the field, focused on the next talent they're going to bring into the office, what they'll generate revenue on. Okay? So if you look at the expenses, our largest expense is going to be recruiting. So, we'll say the average owner can bring in, they get paid on Sam's Club, they get paid $392 an install. They pay out usually about $200, and they've been making around $192 per install done. Right? If they do 10 installs in the office, they're going to make $1,900, $200. The average owner is going to probably net, again, around $2,000. They bring in $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 gross, right? They're functioning at about a 40% operating rate. They pay out about 60%. If you do the math on that, right, you can do $10,000 brought in gross. That means you're going to have $4,000 net. You can see the offices like Phoenix on the bulletin, Eddie Rodriguez, bringing in $30,000+. They're running a $1.5 million company. So while running an office, you can make $200,000, $250,000. But to be honest with you, that's not a guarantee. For me, I made $75,000 my first year running a business. Right? I paid myself and saved some. Now, for me, I lived below my means and I wanted to. So as an owner, you can pay yourself whatever you want. My advice is pay yourself low, bank a ton, invest back in your business, expand a ton, and you'll be in a way better position 5 years from now. So what makes our model run? It's not just putting people into business for themselves. We're not in the AT&T business. We're not in the DirecTV business. We're not in the Sam's Club, the Costco, the energy business. Those are the fuel to our vehicle. Our vehicle is our model. What our model is based off of is finding, hardworking, ambitious individuals, cross-training them in all aspects of our model, and giving them an opportunity to manage other people and putting them into business for themselves. That's it. So we get this stigma, right? And that's okay. People are like, oh, this is one of the multi-level marketing companies. This is one of those pyramid schemes, right? And listen, all good. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I personally feel it's a bit ignorant to say. Here's the reason being. If you could think about our clientele, now I could say Apple, right? $1 trillion company, first ever. We've increased their sales inside of Sam's Club by 4 to 6 times. They're literally writing a profile on us because they said, we don't know who you are, and you're selling more phones than we are in certain local places. We can't figure out who you are. Then you got Samsung. Then you got Vivint. Vivint got bought by Blackstone. Blackstone's one of the largest investment companies on the planet, and they actually bought them, I think, for $2 billion. So we represent a whole home company that's in the billions. We got bought by Blackstone. And then you got to think Costco, the largest big box retailer in their space. They're actually one of the only retailers in the planet that hasn't been affected by Amazon. If you look at the bottom line, they're actually trading at sometimes an all-time high. I just think last year opened up 18 new locations, while most retailers are shutting down. Like Sears shut down 125. Best Buy retracted recently, right? Sam's Club, Walmart, number one. I can go on for days. NRG, the largest energy holding company, they have a stadium named after them. Vivint has a stadium named after them. These aren't like low-profile companies. I don't think, and I don't mean to make light of this, but I always think it's funny when people say what they say. I don't think those guys get around the boardroom table and go, hey, Randall Stevenson, AT&T, 9th largest company. I got an idea. What is it, Craig Jelinek, the largest Costco retailer? What is it? Why don't we hire a pyramid scheme? One of those multi-level marketing companies. That'll drive our bottom line. That'll help us a ton. What do you think? Right? That won't even make sense. I'm pretty sure they would do research and development on who they outsource to be on their front lines. Think about it. We're not even on their payroll. We're free labor, right? If you think about how we help the consumer, because we speak to a product or a service that they know nothing about, and we're the experts. And why are we good at sales? Is it because we just want to be good at sales? We're good at sales because we have an unbelievable opportunity to cash in on. We sell for a different purpose, while other people sell a product for a paycheck. The great ones on this call, the people that do well, they understand that they leverage the sales aspect because that's how they earn their stripes from a performance base to get in the game, to interview people, to train people, to get an opportunity to run their own deal. That's why I got jacked up. My sales went from X to X plus 10 over a monthly basis due to the fact I went, if I do well at this, if I can train other people at this, I can literally put myself in a position to make $100,000 in the early 20s. To be a 30-year-old millionaire. To retire before the age of 40, to go against the grain of what life's supposed to be and all the statistics, and then I can vacate when I want, I can do what I want for my family, etc. Right? The stigma is because connotation comes from. But again, those clients, those brands, they're not going to hire somebody they don't trust. They're not going to dig in on a company, or they're not going to not dig in on a company. They've got the largest legal teams on the planet. Their reputation of their brand matters so much. They're not going to outsource somebody and say, hey, can you take that 24-year-old with zero sales experience, with no college degree or a big college degree, whatever matters, can you put them on the front lines inside the retail store to engage with our customers more than we actually do? Sell them a product or service. And by the way, no, I don't want them on our payroll. No, I don't want to manage them. No, they do their own background checks. They do their own drug tests. They do everything internally. No, we don't do any of the training. Why it matters to the retailer in this Amazon move, that secures our position in retail. I have a family member. They're just constantly negative. They just want to poke holes in what I do, right? They were supposed to be successful, and unfortunately they're not. The success is a very relative word. And then the dumb kid that went to Florida State came out shining, right? Because he just found a model that was out of control. He didn't quit, right? Which is me, right? And it's funny how we were sitting at family dinner, like I think around Thanksgiving or Christmas, and they were like, well, what are you going to do now, Zach? They were the same ones that told me that, DTV wasn't a good brand, and then we killed it. Then AT&T bought them for $68 million. They said, what are you going to do? Amazon is stealing the retail space. Aren't you nervous? I go, no, actually, it's unbelievable for us. And she goes, how? How is it unbelievable? I go, well, because the retailers need us now. We're getting paid more than we ever had because Amazon is stealing a market share from them, so they need incremental sales that they don't pay on the payroll. We're free labor. The consumer loves this because I just told you it's face-to-face. They get everything they need, and we're there 7 days open and close. It's a win, though, for these brands because they don't have to pay us. All they do is get a paycheck. Every time we sign somebody up for DirecTV, there's a commission that goes to the retailer. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to the bottom line. The energy company, they have this brand, And then literally we go in the store, and then they just get a paycheck. We're paid per performance. They don't give us $1 million and say, hit this number. They get paid every time we sell, which makes us vulnerable a little bit, but puts us in a great position because our value is huge to these companies. The retailers just get free money. And by the way, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure, if I asked you, do you outwork everybody in the retail store? Do you speak to more members or customers than anybody in the retail store? Of course you do, right? We also sell products we don't even get paid on. Imagine how much of a win that is for the retailer when they look at the Amazon move that's happening. So the reality is we build in overrides to incentivize people. The thing is, why can AT&T always asks me, why do you have such high caliber people to do what you guys do? We can't retain them. Vivint told us, you can ask Joe Eckhart, we tried to mirror your model and hire people to generate leads. They all quit. And I go, right, because you pay them an hourly wage, and you won't, they don't have the opportunity to run their own deal. They don't have the opportunity to make $100,000+ inside of a year or two. That's not there. So our people, we can hire a higher caliber individual, right, to do an entry-level position because they're not going to stay there but for a handful of weeks. They're going to get a chance to train other people, to replace themselves, to be in an assistant director role. So what we do is we have to be incentivized. So if you think about your model or think about your local office in our model, there's got to be an incentive to put somebody out, right? So in most businesses, the best people literally work there for years and years and years, get pigeonholed, and then, they'll get an opportunity to become a sales manager, but they'll never run the company. And what happens is when they're really good, they break away, right? All the companies, it's so funny how Silicon Valley is so intertwined. They all go open up a very similar company across the street. So what we do is we build in overrides, meaning if I have Dwayne Long and Dwayne Long's in my office, Dwayne Long's a superstar. I mean, listen, I want Dwayne to do good. I got a big heart, right? If Dwayne Long's an entry-level rep that becomes an owner or becomes a manager and he wants to go run his own deal, I mean, listen, I hope that I get an incentive. And I always say, logically, for the guys and gals who are like, I feel like I'm being held back, or I feel like they don't have my best interest. Guys, the only way the owner locally makes money is if you do well. So when you say something like that, it means you don't understand what you're doing. The owner only makes money when you make money. What a cool model. There's other companies that the manager doesn't give a damn. In fact, doesn't want you to do well because they're afraid you'll take their job. Here, the only way the owner is successful is if you're successful. So when somebody's like, he put me in the slow store, I didn't have a good day today, he held me back. You're basically saying that the business owner goes, I want to suck today. I want to make $0. So when you open your paycheck and it's not great, trust me when I tell you that the owner's right there with you. They're wanting you to do well, and vice versa. When you crush it, they're going to stack your deck. They're going to take you to a better place. So what we do is the same concept from an override standpoint. So as a promoting owner, every single time there's an install for that person that you promote out, there's a $10 residual, $10 override. Because Dwayne Long's a superstar in my office, right? Hypothetically. Dwayne, I got to have an incentive if I'm going to put Dwayne out on his own. Dwayne does the training. Dwayne does the interviewing. Dwayne does, he runs a training class and trains one-on-one in the field, and he's my high roller. So why would I put Dwayne out on his own? I hope Dwayne wouldn't stick around very long if he didn't have an opportunity. If he's excited to just sell DirecTV after 12 weeks, 14 weeks, he's like, I just love selling DirecTV in a retail store. We probably hired the wrong person because that's just odd. It's not what we want individuals to be excited about, right? So Dwayne, I would get an override. So Dwayne goes out on his own. I would get $10 for every install. Now we have B market overrides, energy overrides, phone overrides, visit overrides. The overrides now are out of control. I think the average override right now is roughly like $300 to $400 a week, but it's creeping toward $500 and $600 a week. So that means when they go to put a deal out, so you're promoting owners, they want you to get promoted because that's how they can backfill the territory, make the same $100,000 they were, and get a pay increase. So one of the things I loved about this is I get a pay increase for putting somebody into business for themselves, helping change their situation. I get a reward for it. That was a no-brainer. So the average promoting owner makes about $15,000 extra a year per deal they put out, okay? When you put out 5 offices, so when you find 5 like-minded people, and you do a certain amount of volume in business, there's $100,000 in volume. It's about 500 DirecTV installs on a weekly basis. For 8 weeks, you get promoted to regional consultant. So if I have 5 like-minded people, remember, it's $300 a week times 52 weeks, which is roughly $15,000. If I find 5 of those, that would be $75,000. So now I'm running an office making 100 Gs. Now I'm a promoting owner with 5 outside deals. I'm making $175,000. We got guys with 10, 15, 20 deals. The B market overrides are bigger, phone overrides, Vivid, like I said, energy, etc. But when I qualified for regional consultant, all the partners get together, we buy them. It's kind of the corporate thing to do. You get a Cartier watch, it's about an $8,000 to $10,000 watch. You don't like jewelry, you can sell it. It's just something that kind of what you do in business. Here's your watch, kind of like a trophy. I still have mine, and it sits in the watch drawer. And every once in a while, it's cool to think, man, that was hard work getting there, right? But then you get an extra $3 an install. Doing 500 installs, 3 times 500 is 1,500 a week. 1,500 a week. Right? Over the course of all those weeks, 50 weeks, you're going to make an extra $75,000. So now, as a regional consultant, you have regional consultant overrides, promoting overrides, and you are running a deal. So you're making $100,000 plus 75 plus 75. So the average regional makes about probably $250,000 a year, the high-end regional, because remember, it's all performance-based. And think about it, when they promote you out, their income, their family, their salary is connected to how well you do. That's not the case when you go on a startup company, unless you have capital investors, and all they're going to do is give you shit unless you hit your results. These guys and gals will train you and coach you along the way and mentor you, which kind of keeps us as a network to make, obviously, us move in that right direction. Our clientele loves it because they go, man, you guys are hands-on from the top down. So I'm running this call. Why? Because I know there's at least 100 people on here that are going to get promoted in the next year, right? I know that. But they don't know that necessarily right in this moment. Could be somebody on the 3rd, 4th, 5th day. For me, my 3rd week, I went, this is what I want to do. I went to the top leaders meeting. I called my parents from the lobby at the DFW hotel. I said I found my career. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm not being arrogant. I wouldn't even know how to make a resume. The coolest part is there's a self-satisfaction that I know I'll never have to interview again. There's a peace of mind, right? The weight lifted off to know that no matter what, my daughter that's 4 months old is completely taken care of. She'll never have a worry, ever, if I can control it. All right, so as a regional consultant, you're making $250,000 to $400,000 probably. Then as a national consultant, that takes 7 promotions, first generation, 4 second generation promotions. That way we see that, not only are you doing well with your promotions, the promotions you put out, they're doing well, right? Which makes our model, move, which makes us control a lot of the clientele, the retailers that we're working with. There's a $4.50 override built in. So as a national consultant, you make $4.50 on every install done in your organization. That's about 1,000 installs. Sounds like a lot, but it's like a Roth IRA. Once you put a little bit in over a long period of time, it actually compounds and picks up everything in the stock market. So you can put $5,500 into a market. Over a course of 30 years, it's a $165,000 investment, but after the 30 years, it's actually worth $1 million, because once that ball gets rolling, it just starts taking over. So as a national consultant, you have to do not 500 installs, about 1,000 installs, about $200,000 in business, 8 weeks in a row. There, $4.50, it's a $225,000 pay increase. We all get together, we buy your Rolex, nicer, more expensive watch than the Cartier. Now you have like 2 watches, and et cetera, et cetera. So national consultant probably makes $500,000 in a bad year. And when I say bad year, meaning like they're just hanging out, making $500,000. But most national consultants are the hardest workers in the company. They have the best attitude. They're the most ambitious. And we have female, male. We've got all different race ethnicities. We've got, again, different walks of life, people that grew up, in lower income areas to higher income areas, high education. The fact of the matter is, we all have a couple of common threads. The next year, we're running programs. The next year, and then it's so funny how, now it's like, what are you doing? And this Thanksgiving, I'm going to say, we're actually one of the largest mobility sales teams across the country now. I mean, every year, it's like we're working with minus, and then, hey, we just signed a direct TV. Yeah, we still door to door. Oh, you're in retail. What are you doing with Amazon? Now it's, we took over a $350 billion space, basically. We're representing Apple and Samsung. And, we have this whole control driven. A lot of guys are doing it. It's just funny how now I'm the business genius in my family. My Uncle John always asked me what he should do with his money. I'm like, bro, I'm not even a stockbroker. I have no idea. I pay people to do that. I have no clue. I just looked at this model differently. My perspective, fortunately, the mentors I got the chance to hang out with, changed the way I looked at things. I said, Zach, you can work a lot of hours on the front end to work hardly any later. It was very cool when I had my daughter, and I didn't ask anybody if I could take some days off to be there. I just left. and I was at the hospital the whole time. The craziest part is, and this is arrogant to say, I probably made $20,000+ that week. My daughter was born, and I didn't work. I got to hang out with her, and that was because 10 years prior, 11 years prior, I looked at this business as more than just sales in the field. I looked at it as, wow, this is a great opportunity. This is a chance for me to put myself in a position to leverage a lot around me to if I can just hang on tight, it's amazing what will happen. And when the clientele, again, I look like a genius to my family. The kid that sold coupons to now representing Apple, mobility, all those clients. And the difference is it had nothing to do with me on the clientele side. It had all to do with how much we grew, how big we got, how hard I worked, and, plugging into the right people. So my advice is network with people, network up. Spend time with people that are positive.
If you're at AM, I'll send the phone number in the hashtag. And group me,
from the clients we had to the
so
clients
you
we
guys
have
can
now,
finish.
right? We work with the biggest box retailers on the planet. The only thing that can get in the way of us representing the board be great at what we do, which I don't think will happen. I'm kind of messing around. But I hope you guys can see what we have our hands on. So, again, I know we're running late. We got to hit the stores. But, again, backtrack a little bit. Is this just scary to you? People ask, I'm a big thinker, what's after national consultant? You're a program director, meaning you generate revenue not only on an organization, but on the program as a whole.
Goals.
But not everybody thinks about running a country or running a region. So if you're just motivated to run 2 or 3 stores and make $120,000, $30,000 and manage a few people, great, we need that. If you're motivated to be an assistant director, to help out a local office, we need that. If you're motivated to just sell DirecTV, pick up a paycheck on Friday, what I'm talking about scares you. I don't have the time to reach out in the country and go one by one by one with every rep. So unfortunately, we have to take a broad blanket statement to everybody on a phone call and then go to your owner and say, I want that. What do I got to do to get that? I want to go on a road trip. I want to go to this meeting. What do I got to do to visit another office? Can I get this guy or gal's number? Other than that, guys, the last thing I know I keep saying is just compliance. Please do the right thing. We've got a lot of eyes and ears on us right now because we're high profile. We're working with the biggest brands on the planet and the biggest box retailers. So let's do the right thing. Let's have a great day. Let's have a great rest of our week. And you got my info if you want to reach out. Hopefully I can help you. We'll set up some calls or whatever. But go to your promoting owner if this is something you want to do, and you sit down with him or her and say, listen, let's set up goals. And this is my time frame. This is where I want to do to get there. Some of us, I know, at least for me, I was in the business for 3 weeks before I even knew that, you could get into management. I didn't come into this business for that. Once I saw that, it changed the game for me. So thanks for being on the call. We'll talk soon, guys.